This conference will now be recorded.
And this is the Employee Health Screening Rapid Response for COVID-19 solution. Recently, our customer success team was approached by a large manufacturing organization that was struggling as an essential business to get employees back on the production line. So our team helped them build out a facilities entrance survey via Nintex Workflow Cloud, and this is kind of the solution. So the problem again was the CIO was tasked by the business to get this operation back up and running. So again, pretty acute problem. Solution was, again, we put together a form and a workflow that would allow a essential employee to report their temperature, other symptoms, etc., before beginning their shift. If the response had been flagged because of any of those symptoms being over a certain threshold, an email would go to the supervisor, HR, and the like. We also have the ability to do that text message if we so desire. So the results were, a number of individuals, hundreds of folks were able to go back to work, which is great. And, the business is back up and running. And the other nice thing was that a couple of folks who were suffering from essentially, asymptomatic COVID-19 were able to stay home and not drive community spread inside the business. So again, just worked out really, really great for the company. So we have a demonstration of what was put together for them. So assuming, the quick assumption here is assuming that, the individuals at the company are making the URL to the form available to the users in either, a SharePoint portal, or even on a flyer posted at the entrance of the business before their shift. They could just simply walk up, enter the URL on their phone browser, or scan a QR code. So we've put together even a nice little form that can be used just in lieu of having anything official, right? So as you can see, just a simple notification to employees that they have to fill out this survey before they return to work. Some nice little FAQ details around Corona, but you'll notice that the QR code opens up a URL. If I click on that, you'll see that my camera app is directing me over to the browser on my phone to fill out an on-site employee health assessment form. So I'll go ahead and complete that with my details just for the sake of the demonstration. So I can just put in Brad, my phone number. As you can see, I'm not going to use my real one for right now, supervisor's name. In this case, I'm just going to put my own name in again, just because that's probably the easiest. I'll put in my email address, Brad Orluck, or brad.orluck@nintex.com, and then I'll go down here and say, oh, well, during the past 14 days, have I had any of the following symptoms? So I'll just pick something random. We'll say, I have a fever. Notice that the form opened up some additional fields. I had a cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, aches, all of that stuff, right? How high was my fever? It was 103 degrees. When did my symptoms begin? I think they went back to, the 23rd of April. I'm not doing any validation here. If I wanted to, I could, the 23rd of March, I could do validation here as well, but no need in this particular case. We'll say 15 minutes. So all my data is input into the app. I will go ahead and hit submit. And I say app, I really mean just the form on my phone. Notice I didn't have to authenticate. If I wanted to, I could set up authentication to drive this back through, our Active Directory or what have you. But in this case, it's just an anonymous form. So it makes it super, super accessible. After I submit this, what's going to happen is that form will kick off a workflow process. And that workflow process will send out that notification. So I have an email that I've received that's recommending work from home or not to come into the production facility today. See the temperature and the flag here was raised. All the data was passed into this email. Great, right? We just saved ourselves downtime and somebody sick being in the office, right? So super, super handy, super, super straightforward. Now it's worth pointing out that we were able to build this literally in minutes. So using Nintex Workflow Cloud, it was as simple as just going through and configuring a form, configuring a workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like right here. So you'll see this is the form inside of Nintex Workflow Cloud. Pretty straightforward. If I wanted to make any changes, maybe I want to capture some additional dates and times from an employee if they were maybe submitting in advance. I could just simply drag a control, make some configurations, let's call this, submission date, whatever. A couple toggles, switches. Maybe I want to know where they're filling this form out from. So, I can do something like rapid geolocation control, right? Stick it on the form. We'll stick it right here. And then maybe I want them to sign off, right? I want to make sure that they're testing for this being legit. I can put a signature control in, hit apply changes, and I'm done. It's capturing it into the variables in the workflow. Go back to my workflow design. Workflow is very, very simple in this case. It's just simply running certain activities if they evaluate to true. So if that employee has symptoms, we do things like create a text string. We do things like, flag whether or not they have fever and put a little bit of disclaimer verbiage into the email before sending it over to the supervisor. So as you can see, just configurations. But the beauty of Nintex Workflow Cloud is I can go crazy after this as far as my design and logic. If I wanted to start assigning tasks to people, if I would like to, perhaps maybe post a message to a Teams channel, I could, just grab that activity and stick it right into the workflow and, do my configuration, whatever information I would like in there. Or I could, create a document, put it into the employee file, and then store that inside of, Dynamics, for example, or what have you. As I mentioned, we can send out that text message too. So maybe we want to leverage Twilio to send out a text message to the submitter as well as to the supervisor. So I can very easily say, oh yeah, here and say, I can grab that, the phone number from the individual who filled this out and send them a message, thanks for submitting. Whatever I might want to send to them, and I'm done. So that simple, that easy. This is done, this is built. We can share this with you. This asset will be available inside of the Nintex process